Hello there good folks, this is your host Hugo the Icifier and welcome back to some more Sonic Heroes madness. For this session we are going to jump into the next story mode, which is Team Dark, the quote-unquote hard mode of this game. Without further ado, let's get started. Is Eggman even known for stashing treasure away? I mean, the kind Rouge usually likes. No, maybe not. I gotta say, it doesn't quite seem usual for Eggman to have robots with full-on Gatling guns like that. From what I remember, at least.
Now I know what this is all about. You're mad at Eggman for sealing you in this room.
Made him too smart.
You can't remember anything, can you? Then it's settled. Now you two make up so we can start looking for Eggman together. Oh yeah, baby. This makes us a team.
Anti-heroes, yeah, you know. So here we are again, Seaside Hill.
You two ready?
Warning, immediate destruction if distracted.
Hope you can keep up with me.
Basically, do not look at the beach titties. And like, yeah. So yes, Team Dark. Then hard mode, basically. So what is there to say, really? Other than, let's do something somewhat different. Since there isn't that much else to show off right now, I'm actually going to speedrun the stage, I guess. Using only the speed character. Gotta pick up the key though. Right. Let's get up here. Now I gotta use Rouge for this one. Alley up. Roger that, Omega.
What's up with these rooms?
So yeah, when I say hard mode for Team Dark, it basically means just longer levels with more enemies and somewhat trickier obstacles, like here. Because if you can somehow remember for Team Sonic, there isn't really a gap that you can fall through, but there is here. Just get this through this trolley section. We can run over robots here this time around. Are there spikes? No, not quite yet. Oh, no, why? What a tease. Hop. So yes, I suppose we could talk a bit more about the whole thing about the slipperiness of this game, some people call it. Where to even begin, because I have already talked about this and it really is a matter of personal skills, I suppose. Because, once again, when you are going to complain about something, you really need to try to put personal opinions aside and actually make an effort into showing concrete cases such as video evidence and the like. Because for some reason the general consensus, if I'm using that word correctly, the general consensus of Sonic Heroes is that the controls are shit, and that's one of the major points about why this game is received poorly overall, apparently. But they never really go deeper into why that is the case. They will say that well, one of the common points is that your attacks can veer you right off the stage and plummet you to your death for seemingly no reason, and overall, most of the time it doesn't feel like it's your fault for dying, it feels like it's the game's fault. But that's pretty much all they say, they don't really say why that is the case. And you know, I'm just getting real tired of it, it's all. Because I have already shown you that even during Team Sonic, I'm using Sonic fairly well. And it's not because I got used to bad controls, so to say. I've just got used to the controls for this game in particular. And you know, there is something called not being able to react fast enough in time, you know. And people have it differs from people to be able to multitask during sessions like this. But some people, they can manage, but the people who can't, they at the very least think twice before outright assuming that other people cannot multitask just like you. So we're just about 5 minutes into the stage now, and we are done. Let's just show off the team last year. If you take a look at the timer, it will actually freeze. So we're gonna make use of that and touch the gold ring at just about exactly 5 minutes. That's kind of impressive.
Perfect as always.
Yes, and in case you didn't notice, it is the character with the highest score at the end of the stage, which will make a comment on the grade you get. So since Shadow was basically my favorite character for this stage, he commented on the A rank. Perfect as always. So yes, it should also be noted that by the time of this recording, I have uploaded the Team Sonic playthrough, but I have not published a video yet because I have yet to get around to make a proper thumbnail and the like. But at the very least, it is uploaded, and it is just one video. The whole session is not split up. It's one video, and get off. And it can take quite. It takes quite a while to upload, to say the least. So at this point in my life, I can totally understand why some people actually prefer to split up their videos in like into 20 minutes or 30 minutes parts. Because if something goes wrong during the upload for longer videos, then you know, you have to make a choice, you know. Make the same risk again, or minimize the risk and actually get the video out there, even if it gets split up, you know. And try to avoid that for once. Okay, let's just go back to Shadow, because like I said, you're pretty much just better off taking control over the speed character for these bonus stages. There really is no reason to switch over to power or flight, basically. I'm gonna keep my gauge full here and touch the gold ring. For maximized profit, so to say. Can we get like 5 or 6 1-ups this time? 5. What? Looks like you can only get 5. I think I'm going to try to count that, like take a look at my life counter and check if I got 6 instead of 5.
Ancient civilization established on the sea.
This place is really beautiful.
Primary target is Eggman. Don't forget it.
Yeah, I gotta say, the concept of civilizations built on the ocean. It's a beautiful notion, I must say, and just looking at it, I can very much agree on that. Get up, please. Looks like Omega had some kind of bug out in his system. That's what happens. Worthless consumer models, I say try to compensate for actually bugging the fuck out.
Useless heaps of metal.
So one thing we can basically make a note of right away is that Omega tends to be more slippery than Knuckles. Like his launch attack has longer range than Knuckles. Which means if you're not careful, you will most likely fall off because of that. Should I try to speedrun this stage again? I think I might as well. Wait, my bad. Coming through. Up we go. That was itching. Well, I got a glass of water at the ready this time. So my throat should have a remedy if it gets raspy again. But this is the beginning of the recording session, so it will be a little pathetic if it already started now. I should be able to make it to Hang Castle or Mystic Mansion before I have to yield and pick up the glass. Up we go. Let's ignore that area over there and head on down. Get rid of... No, they don't fall. Okay. It's okay, Omega. You can relax. Until now. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. And go. So, are we going to have a mishap with... not this time.
Where's the turtle going?
With the cannon. Load the cannon. Fire the cannon. No problem, man. Maybe I should try to avoid landing on top of that robot there. Wonder if that was even possible. Because, if I remember correctly, nah, that's what happens. Remember what I said about the lands, guys? That's what can happen when you try to take them out with the speed character. You will touch the lands and you will take damage. Unfortunately, it's a small gripe, but you gotta be aware of it, I guess.
Fire transformed into fireballs that Omega shoots at enemies.
So basically, you're setting your teammates on fire. That doesn't sound dangerous at all. And it should pretty much go to prove that the Sonic characters are impervious to fire and... Well, that was kind of unfair. And it should basically go to show that the Sonic characters are impervious to both fire and electricity. When they get coated in like the electric aura and the fire aura. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure where I was going with that. The point is, if you're going to do death battles of Sonic characters, you gotta take these factors into account, you know. Be more responsible, as it were. Okay, this part right here. Let's actually try to be the power character and go up here. And then switch to the speed character. Okay, I'm holding down. It almost hit me there. But yeah, they could definitely make it so that because last time I got majorly screwed over because I happened to be in the flight formation. And I didn't really get the chance to switch all over to speed character before the rock started rolling out, hitting me. But it kind of hit me there as mid-air, so whatever. I guess the game designers took that into account and deactivated the hitboxes, as it were, during that jump. Man, less than 5 minutes. I don't think I used Chaos Inferno once. And maybe that's why I got a B. Like I said, this game can be quite strict when it comes to the A ranks. Or maybe I just wasn't killing enough robots. That might have also been the case. And once again, I skip out on the first emerald, which I still don't have at this point. Is that any way to treat your greatest creation? For that you must pay the greatest price. A rocket through your gut. Prepare yourself. You will get your chance, Omega, but for now, let's just... Oh yeah, about that. I do remember, actually, when I was listening in on the playback during the previous playthrough. I am using the GameCube controller for this emulator, and the A and left and right shoulder buttons, they can be quite loud. So I will try to keep in mind to not be pushing those very so profoundly when I am playing through this Team Dark mode. As it were, Omega. As it were. Crush the city under control. So this time we are basically out to destroy the city. That's an interesting foreshadowing to Shadow the Hedgehog, the Shadow the Hedgehog game.
He's mine. Any objections?
Negative.
Long as he's dead, I don't care.
That red liquid is being traded at high prices.
Eggman must have plans to control the energy.
True. It feels like a
After all, everything is energy in this. Everything is a matter of energy in this world. Up we go.
doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
No problem. Let's get moving.
Have some more self-confidence, Rouge. We're anti-heroes. We never falter.
Those machines
And we never yield.
up the road.
Terminate all Eggman robots, regardless of their purpose.
That's such an unusual term. Energy thief. Whoa!
I'll pick it from here.
Let's not be too hasty. We gotta wait for it to manifest. Level up. Charge. Fire.
Really think they have a chance?
Level up.
I rest my case. I rest my case.
I'll take it from here.
Whoop.
Just watch this.
Shadow may be considered an edgy anti-hero, but it is somewhat refreshing to see that he isn't ashamed of showing off here and there. I'm the coolest. Darn, not bad for an imposter.
This is the ultimate power.
Go. Chaos control here, I guess.
Chaos control.
Let's actually win some time. So maybe we can get an A this time. Rebound. Looks like it stopped for like 10 or 5 seconds. 10 seconds, I think. Not sure about that. Sesame, open up. So yeah, you might notice that Team Dark is somewhat more action-packed than Team Sonic, in that there are more like strings of things to do. Like there are, I think it's more of you more often get to do the light speed dash as you attack enemies, and that's just nifty. Makes traversing through the stages more interesting, I would say. That lands, man! And I wasn't even level 3, so that was just stupid of me, and I lost my key for it. Oh well. I mean, I lost the golden key, but you know, somebody has the key to my heart. Where that person is? Definitely not in me house. Chaos Control again, I guess? Because it seems like we will be able to progress... open my mouth too soon, I guess. Now, we have to wait for this door to open up. But we can cancel... Chaos Control at any time by pushing the Z button and the same button as the Team Blast attack. So we don't have to wait for time to... for the flow of time to restore. So let's see about this rail grinding right here. Yeah, it seems to be quite consistent that you can't really switch properly if you're going too fast in on this part. That's a little weird. Should not happen like that. Yes, you may... yes, go ahead and cry about how bad this game is, you know. One tiny flaw like that this early on in the game. Go ahead, be my guest. I feel like I'm being so negative during this playthrough for some reason. And I'm not even doing bad. I should be joyous about this. I'm having fun. I'm doing good. I don't have much of a concentration issue when I'm talking while playing this game. How dare you! Did I lose a key again? Oh. Let's grab those, I guess. Or just one of them. Gonna use Chaos Control here. Die. Okay, maybe not. I guess we have to wait for him to flip over. Because remember, at level 3, Shadow does have... Shadow's homing attack does have tornado properties. So one single homing attack is all it takes to remove shields. And flip turtles over. And flipping the finger. Flipping the bird, I mean. Flipping the finger, yeah. Damn, Shadow. Any more of this and I will start to think you're desperate for attention. Which is typical of edgelords. About 6 minutes, that is.
Perfect as always.
Don't lie, Shadow, I got a B. I just started a new streak. Don't celebrate quite yet. Or don't make such a big deal out of it quite yet. Ooh. Ah, this stage.
Let's go.
This is a bit too much.
Rouge.
Natural.
Okay. I'll take that, I suppose.
I'll take it from here.
So, yeah, I suppose we can touch the topic of what it means to have a massive fan base consisting of very impressionable, mostly consisting of very impressionable people. Because many will just argue that whenever very popular content creators do and say certain things, which can cause their fan base to do really bad things. Some people will just dismiss it and say it's not their fault that the fans decide to do those things. It's not so. That's why they really don't need to take any responsibility for it. And to that I say, once again, it's complete bullshit. Because back in middle school, there was a day where the students of my class were sent out to like work some kind of job for a whole day. And I was paired up with one of my best friends during middle school. And we actually had the job of taking care of the children at the kindergarten. So while we were playing outside, after like explaining some rules for a game, I suppose, I hopped down from a large rock while striking some kind of pose, or I tried to make it look cool the way I was jumping down from the rock. But that could actually be very dangerous for the children to do. And because I was doing it in like some kind of cool manner, my friend called me out on it and said that you must not do that because these small children might imitate you and they will end up hurting themselves. And I was very glad that he did that, because I did not realize that myself, and had I known, I would not have done that. So he called me out while the children were still with us. So we basically had to take a little bit of our time to explain to them, do not do that, like, at the very least wait until you're a bit older and a bit bigger, when then it's safe for you to do that. Because while it is common that children hurt themselves while playing on the playground, there's still no reason to not help them prevent them from hurting themselves, you know. And that is such a case of being responsible for impressionable people, you know. Because we have to be a little bit fair, you know. Sometimes we don't realize that we are... Oh, no, don't jump there, don't jump there. Kind of got distracted by my train of thought there. But yes, sometimes we don't really realize that there are people who are very likely to follow our way of thinking and our way of doing stuff. And so we might cause mistakes like that, where we say or do something, and there will be trouble for that because of what other people do on our behalf. And while that isn't entirely our fault, we still have to own up to it when inconveniences and bad misconduct happen. Like, we can't just brush it off as it not being our fault in the slightest. Because, like I said, some people are strangely obsessed over you. And somehow these obsessive people have the power to cause other people harm. And they will not hesitate to do that as long as they think they are like meting out punishment on your behalf, so to say. So yeah, I think it's about time we like jump into the whole incident which makes me bring this stuff up in the first place, and that is when Game Grumps like Aaron and Dan were playing through Sonic Adventure 1 DX back in 2015, might I add. So they were doing knuckle stages, you know, and if you know how it works in both Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, then you should know that the Master Emerald pieces are generated into random locations for every time you play a stage. So there isn't really a guide which can help you pinpoint you to their locations for each stage cycle, so to say. Which is mighty ironic, because for Adventure 1 at the very least, Tikal will actually show you where they are if you just touch her in hint orb. Oh, damn it, messed up there. So the walkthrough author, his username was Leadfoot. And then during the rant for thinking that he was being a complete idiot for not telling them where to find the emerald pieces, they gave out his real name and stuff like that. And people actually managed to find his email address and find out who he really was and how to contact him. It even got to the point that his phone number was leaked, actually. And while nothing incredibly serious happened from the incident, there still was reason for Dan to like apologize on his and Aaron's behalf, you know. Because had they not encouraged their obsessive fans to go out and harass him, that would not have happened in the first place, you know. But for some reason, some years later, when they play Skyward Sword, they take back that apology and just say that it wasn't really their fault when it was. And some fans will think that yeah, it's totally fine that you took back the apology because it wasn't your fault. That it happened. Oh my god. Rouge. Am I actually screwed here? No. I refuse to give up! Ugh. I don't think those flying robots should have been given guns there. Because that almost screwed me up like majorly. When you basically have no choice but to just initiate the homing attack right away. And you can't really do much about that when you can't really do much when it comes to dodging when you're in the middle of a homing attack string. So when the robots just shoot you, let's just use this for good measure. But yeah, you get what I mean. That is actually a moment which can be quite unfair. Because of the flying robots being armed with cannons. And which one? Shadow won by 10 points. 10 points over Rouge. Wow.
Perfect as always.
That's an interesting number comparison right there. So yeah, I mean, we have to be more responsible as grown-ups and people, you know. Like that time when I was working with my friend at that kindergarten. He was, I I will go on to say that he was a lot wiser than me at that time. I had it, but I slipped up. So I am ever grateful that he actually called me out on that, because I was really afraid of what could have happened because of what I did then and there. But unfortunately, I don't really know what to do to convince these people that we are indeed responsible for our actions. Because I guess we can bring up like famous musical artists and like pop stars, I guess.
What's up, SBO? And you are...
What do you
I can't.
you're doing here?
I don't think I'm going to like refer to some specifically, because just to protect the innocent, I suppose. But there are some famous actors and singers who are just
My way.
they are people children should not really look up to, you know, because some of them do really scummy things, which cannot really be defended. And it's not even a matter of being free and just being yourself and, you know, get to express yourself and stuff like that.
I'll find Eggman's treasure.
It is about matters which can, like, misconduct which can't be excused. And Vector is out of here.
You should thank me for letting you live.
Basically, if I had a daughter, I don't want her to become a straight up whore, you know. At the very least, not at a very young age, because
We're definitely up to no good.
Enemies detected to
I really worry about what could happen to her years later down the line, and about her mental health.
Cool, sick.
our top priority is Eggman. Don't forget that. No time to waste.
It really is a difficult matter to like argue
There's someone there.
I guess, because while I firmly believe that people should have the right to express themselves and be themselves as long as it's not hurting anyone, that, well, yeah, I guess that is a fine way to put it. They can be very like how should I explain?
I'll take it from here.
Very active socially and romantically, I suppose, and be with many different partners, you know. But what some people tend to do is that, you know, they will actually have multiple partners and cheat in the process. And what that ultimately will do is hurt other people's feelings. And I like the argument I have heard a lot is that the more partners you have at a young age, the less grateful you are whenever you get into a new romantic relationship. Like you do it just for validation about your attractiveness. And because there will come a point in time where there might come a point in your life where you want to settle down with someone. Actually, you will want to find the one and only and settle down for once and for all. But by that time, you might actually have been through people who wanted to be your one and only and be truly faithful to you. And you just can't find people like that anymore. And you...
The number of rings paid out from the slot machine on the pinball table.
Well, yeah. Maybe I should just stop talking about it right there, because...
200 rings are paid out on one ball, but if you have 3 balls in the machine, it's
It's basically a topic that I feel very passionate about, but I can't really
then you lose
put
the ring. So jump
put correctly to words. I'm at the very least not live while recording this live, I suppose. So I am like three minutes into the stage. Oh yeah, this stage. Did I pass by the point I wanted to talk about here? I hope not quite yet. Oh. Let's just use the chaos control here, also, I guess.
I'll take it from here.
Okay, this part right here, yes. Let's take a bit of our time to look here. You see this dice block down here? Why is it there? Let's just line up. Push B. For some reason I just stop up. And this seems to be very consistent, so what they figure to do is, instead of making it a trail of rings which you can just track perfectly from the start, they put this block here in case you actually fall down. Which once again seems to be very frequent, which is why they put it here. That is just weird, man. I don't really see why they couldn't just fix it. So that you could follow the trail of rings. So you could just follow the trail of rings from the get-go. Maybe they were rushed to release this game. Omega? What took you so long? Oh wow, he was actually unavailable while standing there. I could not choose him. Oi! No, my bonus stage. Oh well. What even is there to talk about Great Game Grumps at this point? I mean, as you should know by now, yes, I'm being an obsessive bitch by admitting that one of the main reasons this playthrough exists is because of them, and I just have to admit that, I suppose. Oh yeah, I guess I could go a little bit in better detail about the whole thing about complaining about the sake for complaining. Because sometimes when you identify an issue within a game, it is pretty obvious what you should... It is pretty obvious that what you should do in order to fix this a certain issue, because you don't really need to explain or try to identify it, you know. Such as that ring trail with that strange dice block for a safety net. That is a moment where you can just outright say they should have found a way to make that ring trail work like every other ring trail in this game. Like, for what reason do we need a safety net right there? But as I previously talked about, when it comes to the controls, basically, especially the controls, there are many... Apparently, there are many professional video game critics out there who bash Sonic Heroes for having slippery controls to the point of it being difficult to control and difficult to play overall. Please get down. But you know, I just can't agree with that, and you can see why I can't agree with that, because I am using Shadow, the speed characters, a lot. And I don't really have... They have guns, gotta pay attention to that. And I don't... As soon as I fucking said it, you know. And I... Yes, that was a case of me actually aiming wrong with my analog stick. Because the precision is quite tight, you know. It is pretty strict. So as I was saying, I can't agree with what the... Okay. I want to finish my train of thought before I get interrupted by some things. Excuse me? Be gone, please. Yes, the speed character. I don't have these frequent issues which other professionals point out. And once again, you might argue that just because you can get used to bad controls, that does not automatically fix them. Get over here, Shadow. I feel like I need to wait for the characters to properly assemble before I switch to them, or I will just end up somewhere else entirely.
Doesn't look like we'll be able to move on.
No problem. Let's get moving. Bingo on this table.
Okay, so I think I don't really think I need to talk that much more about it, you know, because you can see from the footage that I am using the speed characters and I am not having much of an issue controlling them and getting A ranks. Because it does take practice, just like with every other game, you know. You can't go into a Sonic game and expect you can beat the stages at record time, because Sonic is a game franchise for being known about being able to go fast. That speed is the entire gimmick, you know. Because there are other game titles, and that is why, you know, for pretty much every game, people try to speedrun them and see how quickly you can beat them. Because at the end of the day, just because you can move quickly in a game like Sonic games, that still doesn't mean you can't do it for games that aren't necessarily known for being able to go fast. It's all about practice, basically. It really is weird why they give Sonic such a hard time for that. That the concept of practicing is basically ignored for Sonic games. And I don't understand why that is. Oh, excuse me. Gotta wait for this to activate.
Useless heaps of metal.
So when it comes to power characters like Omega and Knuckles, you can actually have a control over how much they slid around, so to say, during their lunge attack. If you hold the control stick in a direction, you will lunge a certain distance like this. But if you don't touch the left analog stick, it's a bit more careful, so to say. So you can actually avoid flinging yourself right off by keeping that in mind. But there is a certain thing about Omega in particular, which we will go through cover when we get to the final act of this game. Because there is a certain programming aspect which seems to be quite the oversight. A thing that should not really be there, so to say. people might want to talk about anime and stuff like that, like TV shows or books they've been reading, just to have something to talk about for commentary gameplays, for commentary let's plays like this. But you know that you should not really do that, you know, for obvious reasons, spoilers and all that. I mean, if you are like not alone and you're doing it with like a friend, and there is one thing you'd like to share with them on the spot, for the sake of the quality of the commentary, keep it brief, so that the censoring doesn't have to last long, you know. Because if you slip up and actually end up spoiling something during your commentary, you should always cut it out, you know. You just should. Because there are many people care about spoilers. I mean, in case that wasn't obvious enough, you know. So if I am going to harp on the Game Grumps again, that's actually one thing that happened during their Majora's Mask playthrough. Aaron actually managed to spoil something for Dan. He said a spoiler for a movie, which was like an adaptation of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, I guess, if that is the correct English title. Well, in Norwegian it's like called Ringeren av Notre Dame. But anyway, Aaron gave away a spoiler, and Dan got really upset by it. But the spoiler was not edited out of the episode. It was kept in, so even the audience will hear the spoiler, which is plain irresponsible, to say the least. So whoever was in charge of the editing at that time, they really should have paid more attention, you know. Spoilers, cut that shit out if you can. And you can. You are paid editor. Do your goddamn job, you know. Be considerate about your followers and all that. So as much as I'd like to talk about my favorite TV shows and anime and stuff like that, I really can't bring myself to do it, you know. So if I have to talk about like fiction, not bad. So if I feel a need to talk about fiction like that, I really need to like come up with brief arguments completely free of spoilers. And we're gonna actually gain access to the aerial bingo legitimately this time. Now, how do we do?
First round of bingo. Ready?
Oh. Not horrible, but not great either. Once again, I have done much better than that. But yes, I think we used like 1 chaos control. And like exactly 8 minutes of 500 rings, wow. That's some interesting numbers.
Perfect as always.
You said it, Shadow. I'm just about halfway into this commentary, and I pretty much just said everything that needs to be said about oh gods. It can get really uncomfortable when you're actually trying to hold a burp in. Ugh. But that was a pretty rare occasion. I suppose one thing I can mention is that I have actually been meaning to do like a video in regards to damn it! Slipped up right there. I'm not entirely sure, but these bonus stages, they seem to be actually more difficult for Team Dark. So future Hugo, if you could like get some confirmation of that from the internet and post it here, maybe. But yes, I've been meaning to do like a defense of Dark Souls 2's hitboxes actually. Because one of the biggest complaints about Dark Souls 2 is that it has terrible hitboxes. Especially when compared to Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3.
What was I doing? Asleep on that base.
But when actually watching Mahler's video in defense of Dark Souls 2 where he showcases the supposedly many broken hitboxes, when you watch those in slow motion, you will actually find that quite the handful of them are actually arguably not bad hitboxes. They are actually hit. You are actually getting hit by the enemies. So yes, I've been thinking about doing a short video like that. Because Mahler is someone who states that he wishes to not make terrible videos. And that is like one point I feel like bringing up, because like my main point will be when you do a critique of hitboxes in video games, it is extra important that you actually play the clips in slow motion so we get to see them properly. Which is what I will do when I get around to making that short critical video of his video. But you still mustn't get me wrong, like there are some really unacceptable hitboxes in Dark Souls 2. Horrible ones which actually seem to be quite consistent in terms of their poor design. In that they will actually, as I said, happen with consistency, and it's not like some one-time thing. Especially the fight against the Fume Knight. That is like that boss has like an attack animation which seems to have be consistent when it comes to absolutely horrendous hitboxes. But let my guard down there. Okay. Let's not. All right, we're good. Because it can become quite troublesome if those turtles get to actually fire at you. So let's be more care. Let's use our Team Blast with greater care, I suppose. As you wish, Eggman. As you wish. That's an idea Omega can get down with.
You underestimated us, haven't you?
Activation test unsuccessful. Minimal resistance detected.
A bunch of golden robots.
Don't get too excited, boys. Those were the easy ones. Mission completed.
I'm a woman, I'll have you know. No respect for ladies.
A troop of sentry robots destroyed.
But on a serious note, people, if you're transsexual, don't be fucking offended if people ask if you're transsexual or not, you know? Because if you... It is important to be identified as what you wish to be identified as, right? But at the end of the day, transsexual people, you are an abnormality. And it's just too bothersome for people, for other people to always consider that you might actually be transsexual. So, I mean, can you like imagine if every people on Earth just walk up to every new people they meet, and they always have to ask first, are you trans or something, or what do you want to be identified as? It will be utterly ridiculous. So if you are a transsexual, like if you are trans, if you are a male who wants to be identified as a woman, then let them fucking know that they should use the pronoun she for you. Just let them know, you know. If they can't respect that, then they are assholes, but if you don't speak up, you are being inconsiderate. But that is ignoring the possibility that you are scarred and fear backlash and stuff like that. Because actually attack them if you would, if you please. Yeah, I wasn't really using the left analog stick there. Because like Danganronpa, or is it Danganronpa? Danganronpa, however you want to pronounce it, like American or Nippon Go. Yeah, Danganronpa is like a visual novel game, and there's a certain character there which is what should I call a tom girl, yes. It's a very small boy who dresses like a girl, thus he actually looks like a girl, a small cute girl. But that character, it is stated within the game itself that that character does not does not consider himself a transsexual. Just because he dresses like a girl and looks like a girl, he considers himself a male still. But Aaron of all people, he just outright labeled him as transsexual. And when he got called out for that he should not be doing that because the game does state that that character is not a transsexual, he doubled down on his take and like refused to admit his mistake of that he should not label him as a transsexual because of that, just because he dresses like a girl. And this is very important to note, because Aaron has actually posted pictures of himself cross-dressing. Aaron has posted pictures of himself cross-dressing on the internet. And he actually got upset when people assumed that he was a transsexual. Like he was a man who wanted to be identified as a woman. He got upset when people asked and assumed. So it really is incredible that he basically acts like he doesn't understand what it's like. Like he can be that hypocritical about it, and actually not admitting to his mistake that he should not have labeled that character as a transsexual. So yes, and unfortunately that's like that might actually be one of the least problematic instances of his hypocrisy, you know. But somehow I was actually having a conversation with someone in regards to Danganronpa's supposed depiction of transsexual people in the game. I was having a conversation with a transsexual woman who had let's see, is there a switch over here? I guess I just have to kill the enemy. Are there more enemies here? Yes. But I was having a conversation with a woman who had undergone surgery to get a penis, and she she didn't like how Danganronpa basically, in her mind, handled the representation of transsexual people, in that she believed that Danganronpa was a game which pretended that the transsexual people that let's try to actually okay, hold on, let's put that little tangent on hold and actually see what happened there.
We should find the switch for this first.
I need to actually observe this, because this might actually be a moment of the game being unfair. Please stop stroking your dick, Sonic Heroes hater. Let's actually see here. Okay, I was going fast, Going full on. That is actually difficult to determine whether you should be going fast or not. Because right there, it seemed like the smart choice... It seems like the intended smart choice is to wait for the trains to pass. But like, why would you do that when it seems like you can go as fast as you want? Let's actually skip that checkpoint this time. And get a 1-up and make up for that loss, I guess. So yes, that actually seemed to be quite a faulty moment too. And I do remember that when I practiced the first time I practiced Team Dark, I actually fell straight off going as fast as I could through that tunnel. Because during Team Sonic I was completely fine when I did that, but when I did my practice run of Team Dark I actually fell for seemingly no good reason. So that is definitely a section of this stage which needed a bit more care put into it.
I couldn't even beat Gamma or Beta.
Well, to be fair, Beta had like a super Kamehameha cannon, yeah. Kamehameha. That's it.
It's starting to look like a base.
Here we go.
Prepare to infiltrate.
I mean, it was pretty much just canyons before that. So what the heck was the tangent that was going on about transsexual people and Danganronpa? But yes, there was a transsexual lady who was pleased with their representation of transsexual people in Danganronpa, in that the game basically refused to acknowledge transsexual people's existence. And there is like an argument that can be made for the time the game came out, and in Japan, a country where apparently transsexual people were hardly prominent in that country during 2010 or something like that. But there was a part in the game where she was upset because some characters concluded that the Tom girl character, that they labeled him as a boy once they discovered that he had a penis. And for some reason, that transsexual woman, she took that as a game spreading the message that when someone has a penis, that automatically means they are a boy. But when you think about it, that is a completely reasonable statement to make, because such way of thinking comes from a biological stance, you know, males are the ones with penises. And women are the ones with vagina and breasts, you know. So that is a moment. That lady I was having the conversation with. That is an example of an overly sensitive transsexual person who thinks that the world should always be considerate to her identity and stuff like that. But it is not unreasonable to assume that when a male, like a human with a male body and a penis, is male, it is not unreasonable to assume that. It's just not. So that's why they need to like correct other people if they believe that when they believe that people should identify them as different. Because that Tom girl character, one of his flaws in the game was that even though he did experience trauma about being called about actually being a male, that is still a character flaw, because if you still identify yourself as a boy when you're dressing up like a girl and look like a girl, ideally you should correct other people when they identify you the wrong way. So that is still a character flaw, that he does not stand up for himself and correct other people. But just because it is a character flaw, that doesn't mean it's bad writing, you know. Because trauma and insecurities are very much a thing, which is why it can be very difficult for people to actually speak up. Because he was indeed a victim to being called weak as a man, just like how many women did I say weeping? Weeping. Many women who become victims of sexual harassment and rape. There are actually many of them who are afraid to speak up because they are afraid of people not believing them, and that people will actually say that it is their fault for being raped. And that thought can utterly paralyze them from speaking up. So fears and traumas like that are understandable. But at the end of the day, it is still no excuse, you know. Because if you want help, you must speak up. Or else you have to deal with it yourself. But once again, it's like this is a case where I can't really fault them for being afraid. But at the end of the day, it starts with like and excuse my like sexist expression here, but it starts with manning up, you know, facing your fear and all that. Only then can your problem be solved. Because really, let's say that you are a woman and you got raped, you know. What do? Do you report the sexual assault right away, or do you wait like a few years or a few months, giving the victim time to actually get their way and for the trail to grow cold, basically? Because in cases like that, the longer you wait, you know, the more difficult it becomes for other people to actually help you. Because one thing that can happen is that it becomes easier for the perpetrators to come up with lies and arguments for that that they were falsely accused and falsely framed. And that is actually another possibility that can happen. That women especially, I mean, let's not lie to ourselves, it is women who do this most of the time when it happens. In that they will falsely accuse men for sexually assaulting them. And because of that, because of those women who do falsely accuse other men who make false accusations, those women play a big part in making it difficult for other people to help you. When you finally decide to speak up about feeling sexually abused. Because the people who are supposed to help you, they have legitimate reasons for keeping at the back of their head that you are actually lying, you know, that you're not speaking the truth. Thus, a proper investigation need to be carried out first before final judgments are passed. And that's another thing that needs to be noted, in that when it comes to women and sex, and in this case one-night stands, you know, casual sex, this game apparently did not want me to continue that tangent. Let's see what I can make of this situation if I move around a little. Guys, I am moving my left analog stick around. And I finally got off. Why did I detach? Why did I detach? Because I pushed B at the wrong moment? Oh man. You know, as much as I wish to defend this game by making this Let's Play, it just seems like I'm giving Sonic Heroes haters ammunition to hate on this game. But I'm not going to be a coward. I am going to showcase this. And I don't really can't, you know, I cannot excuse that, I suppose. It's like, can we just call it a Let's Play curse? I think we can just chalk it up to being a Let's Play curse, because that has never really happened to me before. But like others say, when the moment you push that recording button, shit goes down and shit happens. Good lords, man. So yes, women and casual sex, I was going to talk about that. Like, you meet a guy, you sleep with him, let him put his pee-pee into your wee-wee. Wee-wee? Can I call it a wee-wee? Anyway. Like, when all is said and done, you share your sweet nothings, and you part ways after the sexy times. Apparently some women regret having sex later on, much later on, like they regret sleeping with that guy, which might be fair, because, you know, who am I to judge what they really feel, I suppose. But then they actually file for rape and sexual assault. And if the law, like, doesn't jump to conclusions right away and try to hear the man's side first, it becomes a really difficult situation, you know. Because it seems like most part in the world right now, because the law there are many laws which are designed to protect people, women especially, from sexual assault. That because let's face it, when it comes to rape, it is women who are the victims most of the time, and that's why laws exist, to protect these women. But some women know this, you know, and they use that to their advantage. To sum up, those women are scumbag, and they deserve to be treated like cum dumpsters. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. If they abuse the laws like that, and they abuse the law and abuse the men's passion and you know, stuff like that. Even if it is just a one-night stand. But some women, you know, they like to play around and see how much they for how much they can get from by taking advantage of the law. So men suffer too, basically. It's not just about women. It's not. I think taking out one of those rotors actually slows the plane down. That's actually... Oh, I wasn't high up enough there. No, you. So when it comes to women and clothing, you know, some women, they like to wear skimpy clothing, whether to attract males or you know, attract a partner, or just wear skimpy clothing because it makes them feel good in general when they go outside. Where am I? There I am. Excuse me. Or just feel good in general when they wear skimpy clothing outside. But unfortunately, there... Oh, shoot, man. But unfortunately, there will always exist predatory men who will actually try to rape women, especially when they show off like that. So I want to hear your opinion on that, if you want to share in the first place. If you go outside and your intention is not to stand out and be attractive, is it really worth it to like wear skimpy clothing? Is it worth it in the end when you understand that the risk becomes higher for being assaulted by predatory men? And the whole thing about, because I have been informed that it started with protect your daughters, like create laws and stuff like that to protect women from being raped. But that has now moved on to educate your sons so they don't become sexual predators. And in theory that should work, you know, so that less women get sexually assaulted for wearing skimpy clothing outdoors. But I still don't think it will completely make the problem go away. There will always be predatory men out there. So what I say? Basically, make your daughters protect themselves. In combination with protect your daughters and educate your sons. In combination with that. Because women work out to have a nice body, you know. So maybe they should work out to be like ready for a fight or something like that. But you know, I think most women are self-conscious about that, and they will rather not develop way too chiseled body, basically. Like, they don't want the biceps and triceps and prominent abs and all that. But yeah, so I don't think the problem will go away, unfortunately, even if more sons become educated, so they don't prey on women and rape them. So girls, get tough! Like, you want to fight the battle for your rights? Oh! Don't bug out on me now, emulator. Shit. Just took that one. Because you are indeed fighting a battle, you know. So that you may wear whatever clothes you want without being raped. Let's just wait here. You are fighting a fight, so you can wear the clothes you want without being raped. But if there is some encouragement in what I'm about to say now, strong women can be attractive. They can. So if that means anything to you, then hit the gym more often and do it with more gusto. But you know, some girls are just small, you know, they are really short. And at the end of the day, women will always remain inferior when it comes to men and physical prowess. Like, if you have a woman and a man, and the man is at least an equally hard worker like the woman, the only hope the woman has are genes then. Either she has naturally superior genes, or he is so debuffed as all hell, basically. That being said, it is very much possible for many women to actually be very much stronger than men. Because whenever I went to the gym before the pandemic and all that, I will sometimes join my mother for group sessions. You know, we were doing group training with an instructor and all that, and many of the instructors were women, and damn were they strong. Like, I was impressed, you know. I could not even come close to their abilities at the time. So I can imagine, like, women like them being able to stand up for themselves if they must while on the streets. Like, you know, beauty and bronze. There's something very attractive about that, in my opinion at least. But yeah, it really is a situation which should not exist in the first place. Because one thing I have not mentioned yet, I think, is that some women will actually feel conflicted after being sexually assaulted and actually wonder if it was their fault for standing out and wearing skimpy clothing, you know. Which is complete and utter bullshit, you know. It's not their fault. It really is not. But that still makes me question, is it really worth it, you know? Because if you go... Damn it! Lances. If you go out there and you are a very attractive woman who at the end of the day can't really defend herself once she gets assaulted. that might actually encourage more men to become predators, because they see that women cannot defend themselves once they are becoming physical against them. So that's kind of why I am sort of trying to push the idea about daughters being able to protect themselves by actually becoming strong and physically fit. I don't really know, man. I mean, of course, I do not have the answer for that. I wish I did, because then I would share it right away, you know. But I do think that girls can make an effort in that regard as well, and actually become physically strong, so they have a better fighting chance, basically.
Mysterious vegetation is grindable.
Because many people will preach about fixing problems they are being passionate about and they want to go away. But unfortunately, many people who actually do have the resources to help that problem potentially go away, they don't actually make use of it, you know. Because some people will like preach about a certain organization or cause worth donating to, and they have the money to do that, but they don't really donate as much as they could, you know.
I am Omega, the ultimate E-Series robot.
I really care right now because I'm speaking about women's right, or yeah, something like that, stuff like that, you know. Did I actually lose my train of thought? Let me think back a little. Yeah, resources when it comes to fighting for causes you believe in. Some women, they are very... What? I hate it when they are located on the walls like that. At an angle, so to say. Yes, so some women actually have very busy lives, you know. And they don't really have the time nor energy to actually build a strong body, you know. And that's completely fair. But it's still unfortunate that they basically are not able to follow my suggestion of daughters or mothers protecting themselves. But women who are like, if they have a lot of free time, like they don't really study a lot for most of the day. But once again, it goes into about that women. It goes back into women being self-aware of their bodies even when they are working out, you know. That they don't want to push themselves too hard, or else they will start to look too manly, basically. Yeah, I don't really know. So, basically become like America. Carry guns. Buy guns. Guns right. Shoot and kill on the spot. Fuck. I mean, tasers if you want to be a pacifist. Again, I can't go through that for some reason. Okay, apparently I have to do some precise aiming here, because if I miss one orb, I might actually run out of time. And I think this goes to show that Team Dark is indeed more difficult when it comes to the bonus stages as well. I don't think I'm going to make this, no. No. There we go. It might actually be more difficult, wow. So, we are going into Lost Jungle and hopefully not talk more about this stuff, because I think I harped on enough for that.
It's a swamp, so be careful.
Let's go up.
This is oddly and mildly... Fuck. That was pretty funny. and Omega later, and like Omega later on says a certain line, which makes that even more perfect. Oh man. It's poetic justice basically, quite poetic justice. I think I'm going to hold off explaining until we actually get to hear it. But if we don't hear it, then I will explain why I found that particularly funny. Should I go down there and beat him? Nah, I think I can ignore the power up for now. Help! Okay, very good. Why not? I mean, the game is slippery enough as it is. Okay, we are going to beat these guys. Because I need more power. Okay, so right there, try to not use the control stick and be compact with your movement, so to say. And there we go. Shadow is a max, Rouge as well. Rouge, seriously? Don't you know that black frogs matter? What? It is the color of the frog. I mean, I was just Rouge. That's racist. It's Afro-American. It's Afro-American frog, in case you didn't know. What is Afro-American? Hell if I know. That is something I might actually look into. Is Sonic actually... Well, I don't think in this game. But in like the Adventure series, is Sonic like located in the real world? Maybe not, because in like Sonic Unleashed, we have countries with names which basically don't exist, you know. Like the country based on China, it's called Chunan. But that is obviously not the name of an official country, as far as I know, at the very least. So yeah, I don't think the term Afro-American will even exist in the universe of Sonic. No, I don't think so. Speak for yourself, Omega. Shut up, Shadow. Yeah, that's why I found it particularly funny. The very beginning of the stage, Omega, he needed that moment. He needed to compensate for his unfortunate accident. Die. Excuse me. Now Rouge can't stand her ground, if I very much wish so. Whatever. 4 minutes in and my score isn't that high. Huh. Yeah, this game, man. You never really know, do you? Alley-oop. Can I skip this section right here? Sure, why not? Team Blast over there. I don't think we need it. And die. Though that rocket barrage does wonders. Such a strange and wonder. That's not even how the song goes, man. I can just look at you and you die, but I made your death quicker. I have granted you mercy. Can I? No, let's actually just wait for him to retract his spikes. And up we go. Boing.
Just watch this.
Home in. Very good. Too soon, Rouge. Too soon. Okay. Let's just do this. Am I going the right way? I think I am. Did not slide off. Slide off. Slide off. Slide off. Give me a break, I'm Norwegian. I can break the English language here and there. If you can find Japanese cute when they say fuck! Fuck you! No. 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 But the point is, you should find the Europeans and Norwegians cute when they break the English language, you know? Yes? Yeah? No. Why can't I? Let's try this again. Jump here. Let's not be hasty. Away with you. And you. And especially you. Camera's a little bit too close up for my comfort. But that's okay now. Let's not outpace this thing. Oh, oh boy. That was weird. Can I save myself? Can I save myself? I thought I did! But not quite. Yeah, so the problem there was I was actually holding the left analog stick in the direction when I jumped off here. Which I should not have done. So that was my bad. But had I reacted fast enough, I might have been able to jump off the second time I landed on that vine again.
Hey, are they trying to take us down to the swamp?
Never. Okay, this part right here. I should be fine if I use the speed character, I guess. Maybe the flying character is more prone to actually just fall straight down. Not straight down, because last time I actually just didn't grab onto the next vine for some reason. But yeah, I made a really stupid mistake, so definitely no A rank this time. But it is most definitely and ew. Well, to be fair, they are dead now, so you probably will never find out, Omega. You probably never will.
Look, it's that hedgehog.
And once again, I miss out on an emerald I don't have yet.
Getting in my way and making trouble.
Hey, isn't that
I'm not sure why I'm upset over that, because I'm still not sure whether I'm going to do Team Rose and Team Chaotix for this one.
All this way for nothing. We'll take it from here.
what you say?
Sensors locked on Eggman. Non-compliant intruders will be destroyed.
You have been warned.
You know, we have a date with Eggman too.
Is that so? Well then, it'll be a date to die for.
Hey, that's my line.
That Eggman man. Quite the child, popular among hedgehogs, robots, and bats alike. And foxes? Sure, why not?
Not the best way to greet those you haven't seen in a while.
Based on what he puts inside his robots, he does have a thing for animals, I would say.
Like my twin.
You sound disappointed, Shadow. Is it not cool to have twins? Come over here.
And how do they know me?
Because we saved the world together, Shadow. For great justice. Oh my god. Knuckles, come here. Yep, no A rank this time. I was... Oh, there you are. I was 9 seconds too slow. And I'm using the team with chaos control too.
Just a fake. Like I thought.
Speaking of yourself, maybe, Shadow? I have a hard time believing you were actually referring to Sonic there. And I have been recording for like
Are you sure this is the right way?
1 hour 45 minutes, huh?
Something on your mind?
Well, never mind. Let's go. That blue hedgehog like me.
I mean,
What did the doctor say about my memory? And just who am I?
we'll find out in the next game of the franchise. Assuming we even want to. Anyway, back at Hand Castle. I'm at the semi-final act of this story path, and I haven't been recording for 2 hours yet. It really does. It really puts things into perspective when it comes to certain professional YouTubers, you know. Because 2 hours is a fairly humble duration for a gaming session, you know. So the fact that it takes certain people, professional gamers, several sessions or maybe even several days to complete a story mode for Team Sonic, Sonic Heroes, excuse me.
Why don't we do a lower route?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult to defend in my opinion. Just like how it's difficult to defend myself against those robots, I suppose, and losing my key in the process.
Switch detected ahead.
I'll take it from here.
And it does go back to the whole thing about, you know, being able to multitask and all that when playing games. Even with games which you supposedly have played several times before, and you should most definitely have a decent amount of experience with it. Excuse me, let's just do this right here. Do this right here.
Those torches seem to be lined up for some reason.
Because there are many people who say they have ADHD and other conditions like that. And even they cannot excuse certain things older people do not pay attention to and somehow manage to forget, you know.
Just watch this.
And I could totally believe it. Like, oh! Like, I think one of my sisters have, she has ADD. And I don't really know about her gaming experience at this point in life, but I could totally see her being one who could remember important stuff at the very least when it comes to games she has played before.
The doors open.
Let's go.
Because once again, you can't really use it as an excuse in the end, you know. If you want to be critical of games like this, and actually put out an allegedly well thought out analysis video criticizing a game, you have to really take your time, you know, and not rush things. Because I could believe that having those sort of conditions make it harder when trying to dissect a game and note down certain points you want to bring up. But if you plan on, but it is only natural that if you plan on playing a game to criticize it later on in a video with the detailed points, you bring a fucking notepad with you, you know. Like so when you encounter certain things you think are worthy to talk about, you write them down and do some research on if there is supposedly something you're just missing, or if it is a legitimate issue within the game in question. For instance, that whole thing about using your tools properly against certain enemies and all that. Because, like I said, oh no!
Move on.
No problem. Let's get moving.
We should be fine. Feel a little scared there. So yeah, so like I said, like I was mentioning during Team Sonic, this Team Sonic playthrough, I played through Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and at the very beginning of the game there are enemies who use shields, and they can be somewhat difficult to deal with if you don't use the Shinobi axe, and if you're just trying to use your sword. And once you know what to do, it is actually very possible to still beat them fairly quickly with just the sword. But during my first time playing the game, I wasn't very sure or confident about how the deflecting mechanic worked in that game. You know, parrying, and it's called deflecting in the game, but some people call it parrying. But you can very much break their guards by deflecting their shield bash, which can be baited with your own sword attacks. And once I figured that out, I actually just stuck to that technique. And it wasn't actually after during my second playthrough when I actually decided to read the description of the Shinobi axe that it explicitly says that it will break enemy shields when used. And I was like, oh, that's what I should have done, and you know, that's how I reacted. So if we are going to like compare that with Aaron Hansen's Zelda's Sequelitis about the whole point of waiting and attacking, that is seriously him. He thought of that as an issue, but he did not bother doing research when he was criticizing it in his critical analysis video. Die.
I'll take it from here.
And whether it was because of ADD or not, at the end of the day, that is overall just pure incompetence and maybe also laziness, you know. The point being, it's not an excuse in the end. It's just not. Because when you try to find points for a video, you know, you can take your time, and you should take your time, so that you make sure that you're not spouting nonsense, you know.
Just watch this.
And the same goes for this game, because let's talk a little bit more about the whole idea about identifying a potential issue and actually try to come up with solutions to on how it could be fixed, you know. Before you can even identify something as an issue, you might actually have to play through the game at least more than once, which some people simply don't have the time for. And that is fair, you know. But so in that sense, it can be okay to identify the issue which you think is an issue, and you don't really have to. You aren't really committed, like, to come up with a solution to how it could be fixed, you know. And that's fine. I don't really mean to push people into thinking like that if they don't want to, because at the end of the day, you play video games to have fun, you know. You don't do it to rack your brain about things that might be bothersome if you don't want to, you know, such as how to actually improve the game, because sometimes you just don't really care about that. But if you are going to, like... But the thing is also is that if you express that a grating issue, you know, that would also imply that you are more than willing to actually listen to what other people have to say. Like, you should be open to them potentially correcting you and all that.
Someone there. Look out.
But when you play a game and bitch, because that's also the thing, because, you know, people will defend Aaron and say that he is not it's not really his responsibility to actually try to improve games like from Sonic the Hedgehog. And that is somewhat understandable, because as a Let's Play channel, you can't really, because he is mainly focusing on his Let's Play channel now, like to play games and post videos of gameplays. So he is not really going to take his time to play the game a second time and actually dissect it properly and come up with fair criticisms and all that.
Inside the castle.
But that still doesn't mean that he is granted a free pass to be unfair and not be called out for it, you know. If he is unfair, he should still be called out
We must use a switch to open this door.
and be informed of this somehow, so that he may actually... Because that's another thing that people sometimes complain about when it comes to the Game Grumps and other Let's Play channels, is that they feel they eventually run out of things to talk about. So that could actually be something to talk about, you know, that they were actually corrected about something, if they were unfair while playing a past game. And in accepting those mistakes, they might actually
Here they come.
become more wholesome, so to say, and think more before, and be more considerate before criticizing something. And you might be telling me that they don't have time to read comments and stuff like that, but you know, when it comes to the Game Grumps, Aaron has a lot of people under his employment. So I don't really see how... He does have social media managers. Why can't they do that job? You know, they read the comments of people, and they, after reading those complaints or corrections or criticisms, they jump into Google, like do some research and see if they can confirm that what people say in the comment is true or not. And if it turns out to be true, then just, you know, inform Aaron and Dan about it so they can talk about it for a later game they play. Or later on in the very same playthrough, you know. Because that brings me to my next point about Aaron and... because he once stated that he has trouble expressing anger because he supposedly he is not an angry person generally. Which is why he feels he has problems expressing anger, and why it feels cathartic and good for him when he gets to, like, just shout and scream random nonsense while playing games for the channel. And that it supposedly helps him deal with his internal struggles and what have you. But he can get really upset at times, you know, for and oftentimes for no good reason. Where quote-unquote normal people will be somewhat frustrated, but they won't scream and shout like he does. And they will still be able to relax while playing the game. But Aaron, on the other hand, some defenders of Aaron have actually stated that when Aaron actually gets upset while playing games, Dan will notice that and end the recording session for him because it's going too far. And I'm just sitting there asking myself, how can it go so far that Aaron actually gets upset from playing a children's game and video games in general, that they have to stop the recording session because he actually gets upset? And at that point, you really have to ask yourself, is he really relaxing while playing games? Is this good for him and cathartic? Me thinks not. Me thinks that he is not playing a character and that is really how he is, you know. And that he's just using his quote-unquote persona as an excuse to hide that he's an angry piece of shit in plain sight, you know. And that people are supposedly just going to laugh about that. And you know, if you still find that funny, I think you have shitty tasted humor, but you know, who am I to stop you from laughing at it? But I immediately lose respect for you when you come and actually try to defend this sort of behavior, which is actually real and not just an act, you know. Because these people, they will come in and try to defend him because they believe it's just an act and that we are just overreacting. But when we actually like bring up these points for why we believe it's actually how he really is, they will still try to deny that. And you know, I just can't respect that because there has been too many moments and there has been so much severe shit happening for it to just be mere acting at this point. Excuse me just a moment, I should check something. Okay, sorry about that. It wasn't anything important after all. Got distracted by my phone.
Unlit torches. Wonder if
So these people, they are just insig.
torches.
Oh, sorry about that. Excuse me, Rouge. I was lost in thoughts, all alone.
Feeling about this. Let's go.
So these people who come and try to convince us that we are just overreacting, they are being insecure in the end, you know. Because I can't really think of any other legitimate explanation to it that you would actually feel the need to defend your taste in humor, you know. In this case, a man-child raging at games for no good reason. But they should be allowed to ask us, why do we call Aaron a piece of shit, you know? And that is fair, because for many people that's not obvious right away. I mean, I was like that when during my first years of watching Game Grumps, until I returned to Majora's Mask and Sonic and the Black Knight.
There's another trolley. Let's get on it.
But the sad part is that even when they are given these reasons and hard evidences that Aaron is actually a piece of shit, they still try to deny it and say that we are just overreacting. And they will actually try to tell us that we are being obsessive when it comes to Aaron and Game Grumps and that we are dissecting him like this. And I have already told other people, when it comes to calling out injustice and bullshit on a regular basis, it's not being obsessive, it's being passionate.
Over if you fall. I'll pick up
Because we don't do this for attention. We do this because we genuinely care about this stuff. Just like how they care about trying to defend Aaron and his misconduct. According to their logic, they are also obsessed for actually coming to his defense. So hard, you know. But no, just because they don't defend Aaron as often. That means that they are not obsessed, but only we are, because we call out his bullshit on a regular basis. Because we really can't be... Guys, please. Damn, pumpkins, be gone. Let's just do this first. But you can't really blame us for calling out this bullshit on a regular basis. Because there is a long list of things he has done and stuff like that. And he just keeps doing it, you know, even to this day. And these people who try to defend Aaron, they actually equate us visiting what? Now what? Oh, I'm done. It's not a pumpkin homing attack section. I don't think. Let's go back, just to make sure. Okay, maybe I am done. But yes, these people equate us occasionally visiting rant grumps, and they come and ask what it is that we dislike about Aaron. Fuck it. They ask us what it is that we dislike about Aaron, and when we list those reasons because we feel like doing it, then suddenly they will check our Reddit history and notice that we have been doing that a lot of times. But that's just because there are so many of you doing it, you know. There are so many of you who ask these questions, and we just feel like answering you. It adds up, and because of that, that somehow makes us obsessive. Which, once again, is just a ridiculous notion, you know. Because these things happen over time. They don't happen in like 1 hour or 1 day. Like I go out of my way to like explain to as many people as possible in like 24 hours that why we dislike Aaron. It all happens over time. And I suppose I should apologize for this commentary being rather monotone. But like I said, the main reason why I'm doing this Let's Play is because of Aaron Game Grumps and their influence when it comes to Sonic games, you know. And people and defenders really, of course, then, oh, that's not being obsessive at all. No, you dedicate an entire Let's Play of Sonic because of them. They are like living rent-free in your mind. As far as I'm concerned, they are the real winners here, not you. So what you're doing is actually promote a channel which you do not like. And I was holding B there. These turns, man, I hate this. Stop going up the walls. These turns are so sharp. There's for some reason gravitates toward the wall, which is where I don't want to be. And okay, now I'm just sucking hard right there. And these slopes make it difficult to see. Okay, let's just wing it. Wing it. Shit! Oh my god. I hate these turns. I hate these slopes. Because you see right there, I just detached from the ceiling for no good reason, other than it being a damn slope which I have to go through. Just a little more. I mean, I already have this Chaos Emerald, so I shouldn't be too upset if I miss it. But it really is more difficult with Team Dark. What? What? What happened there? I had it. Did the game somehow bug out and say nope, you didn't get it after all, so we're just going to stop your momentum? Yeah, just add that to the list of why I'm full of shit when it comes to defending this game. But seriously, these people, they I really can't imagine them being able to play video games in general, you know. Because pretty much all games have flaws.
Sensors jammed. Real Eggman ID.
Minor flaws at the very least.
Just have to find out, won't we?
And they just might, they're probably just people who are very picky about what they criticize and bash, you know. Like if it's a flawed Mario game, I can give it a pass. If it's a flawed Sonic game, then no mercy, basically. Or if it's a flawed Call of Duty game, can give it a pass. If it's a flawed Sonic game, no mercy. If it's a flawed Zelda game, I can give it a pass. It's a flawed Sonic game, no mercy. And you don't have to like Sonic, you know. Because of the playstyle or what have you. But that just goes to... that just makes it that why you're playing these games then if you don't like them. Well, because of money. Let's use it here, I guess? Let's grab that before it falls. Into the abyss. Nice, we actually gained some time from that, wow. Can I reach this? I don't think I can. Shit! Okay, I'm level 3, I'm level 3. Sometimes you gotta combine camera controls with the homing attack. So that it becomes easier to aim. Am I pushing the A button too hard at this time too? I'm trying to be... I should try to be quiet. No, that was definitely loud. I pushed the shoulder button relatively hard right there, I would say.
Annoying little pests, aren't they?
Indeed, man, indeed. Shit, another one. Damn. I want my rockets, but I can't get power-ups for my Omega while I'm using them. Damn healers! Ugh. Please die, please die. There we go. Damn it. Okay, one more. Die. Let's get out of here. So yes, these people I speak of, they basically cannot play a game unless it's the perfect game. No flaws, nothing. But they might also just be picky about what they criticize. If it's a Sonic game, no mercy. No exception. Get rid of those. I probably should just use my chaos controller here. Because Omega is pretty weak compared to the other... Yes. No. Ah, yep. I regret everything. So yes, I think I might actually have to do the first cut here, because there is no reason for you to wait 3 minutes for me to get back to where I was. So, see you in a bit. And we're back, I think. Yes, I think so. And Omega is actually stronger this time. Child's play. It really is about the level system, you know. Die already. Next wave, please, if you'd be so kind. Oh my god. I'm getting cursed. Shit! Fuck it. Note to self, if I do that again, take care of the witch robots first. And I have no rings. Famous last words. The game granted me mercy. But I should be fine. All of my characters are at max, so. Okay, good, good, good. That actually went better than with Team Sonic, wow.
Just as planned. Anytime now.
I guess that means Rouge is more viable than Tails, huh?
Doctor, stop this senseless fight.
You underestimated us, haven't you?
Activation test.
That's like the second time you say that, Rouge.
Resistance detected.
Don't bug out on me now, please. The recording should be fine, but I will very much prefer to not stop up in the middle of recording just to restart. Reboot the game. Do I use it here? Yeah, I think so.
Chaos control.
Is this the final wave?
I'll take it from here.
Just as planned.
Let's just restore time. Maybe not. There's more. Yep. Ah, damn it, damn it, damn it. Okay, we're fine, because when you attack with a power card like that, they might actually gain what I suppose is called super armor, so you can like plow through their hammer attacks.
Too excited, boys?
And
Easy one.
retrieve your lost rings.
Mission completed.
Not too bad, not too bad. A? A.
Three robot troop destroyed.
Sentry robot? You mean the hammer guys? I don't know. Welcome to the final act of the game. For this story at the very least. So before I forget, we are actually going to talk about a certain programming aspect. It's not a big thing, but you know, it is something I noticed when I first practiced the story mode.
You'll regret this, Doctor. Even if I'm not real, I'm still the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog.
He says all of this, and we still get the next game in the franchise.
We're flying very high.
It's a little bit conflicting, I suppose, but oh well, as long as it's fun, you know.
Did you see space?
As long as it's fun. Shadow Galaxy, somehow I want that. Okay, this part right here.
Annihilation. Annihilation. Kill.
Let's see.
Annihilation.
Okay, it's somewhat happened there, but I distinctly remember that I was holding the left analog stick towards the robot enemy which I wanted to attack. But for some reason, Omega tried to lunge towards the cannon on the separate platform, which almost caused me to fall to my death. So that might actually have been like a one-time thing during my practice run, but I distinctly remember that happening, so we are going to... Yeah, maybe like right there. I wasn't really holding the left analog stick that time. But and because of that he like prioritized the cannon, even though the robot was the closest one to me. That really should not happen if that really is an issue. And this is a case of me actually being unsure of if it really is an issue. But it is something I feel is there. Oh my god! Nice shot, I suppose. Ah, that's Omega for you. Even after getting hit. Gotta save myself! No. As I was saying, even after getting hit, he still dares to talk swag. And remind the Eggman's robots that they are worthless consumer models. So we didn't really reach the first checkpoint, so I might actually just not cut this out, I suppose. If my commentary is engaging, I mean. Then I'll just leave this in, I suppose. If not, I will just cut. Which we will find out now, I suppose. Nah, I think I'll cut, you know. This session is long enough as it is. And we're back! Let's get it. Let's just go now. Grab this item, or ring box. I feel like I missed out on the key right now. I think I had it when I first died here. Or got hit, rather. Okay, that time I actually managed to avoid the cannon shots. I guess it was a matter of just holding forward while mid-air, so I moved past them. Let's keep on gliding. Rouge, help me out here. Let's just destroy, I suppose. Pay attention to the icon, so you push the B button at the right time. The same for here. Oh, I want that, But I don't want that! Fuck it, we'll do it the stupid way, I guess. Oh, okay. And here I was bragging about being able to use Shadow relatively well. And then I missed out on opportunities like that.
Those guys look pretty tough. Careful now.
We'll be as careful as can be. I should have waited. Because it is somewhat cool to look at the laser shots when they're actually frozen like that. But I guess we get to see the charging light, I suppose. That was a little ballsy of me, I'm not gonna lie. Probably should have just used the tornado attack for safe measures.
By moving up and down.
Good.
Look down. Move up.
As you wish. Just floating on by. Okay. We can do this now. Let's show off my godly skills. Like so. And like so. So keep that in mind, the tornado attack can be useful to gain some extra air, if you will. And you have no business being here. Alley-oop. Whatever. With style. Up. Tornado attack here. And go through. Again, all three. Wow. Maybe that's just a consistent thing when you do that, and it's not pure luck. Shit. Push the A button at the wrong time. Yeah, sometimes the game actually will show mercy and stop you from outright falling off the platform like that. So, yeah, that's some good hitboxes and borders for you right there, huh? I still can't believe people like that. I mean, my god, you probably will not believe the sort of conversation I had with someone. He was like talking about hitboxes. And I thought he meant hitboxes for enemies and hit detection. Can I go? Oh, I think there's a spring inside of one of these cannons. He was like talking about the hitboxes for the platforms. And like, whoa, okay. Team Dark indeed. He was like talking about hitboxes for the platforms, and I was like, what? But okay then. And supposedly he thinks that all platforms should like have that mechanic where the game will actually grant you mercy if you're going too fast and don't jump in time.
Just watch this.
And you know, if you want an easier game, sure, whatever. But don't fucking criticize it if it doesn't hold your hand like a baby. What do you know? I suppose Sonic Heroes is manlier than you would give it credit for if it can make people like that cry. Because of a reason such as that. Or, you know, it could be because they just don't know it better, so they just harp on whatever other people are saying. Yeah, I am talking about Aaron Hansen and his fanbase, in case you couldn't tell. Because once I put myself out there on YouTube with my videos of them, there was no going back, basically. I accepted my fate. By not disabling comments and actually engaging with them. Yeah, it doesn't really sound so compelling now, does it, when we actually consider that I have a choice or not. When we actually consider that I have a choice whether I want to engage with them in the comments or not. Shit. Yep. No, oh, I wanted to switch, but Shadow was out of commission at the moment. There we go. Once again, yeah, the camera can indeed be pretty close up to your character models for no good reason. So that is pretty fair to point out at certain sections. But right there, it was the worst that could happen was being killed by the enemies, and it wasn't really a case where you could fall off a platform, which means insta kill. So like, point it out, but I really don't see any reason to be too upset about it. Because at the end of the day, it is pretty easy to get back your rings like that in closed areas. My teammates get... They should have fixed that. Because, yeah, let's do this, because you disable the shield with the tornado attack, but for some reason the speed character... Never mind.
Chaos control.
Naturally.
I could have sworn that the speed characters for some reason weren't able to damage that robot, even while he was being dazed by the tornado. And I don't think it was for like for the first few ones, but
Perfect as always.
then it just worked and he just stood there and took it. I am apparently getting my memory refreshed by playing the game like this. Damn. What do you know?
I'm feeling a bit uneasy. Time to
Wait, I need to like make a synchronization marker for when I'm syncing the other. Okay, here. And start.
But that battleship was safe. That wreck was enormous.
Like my dick. Oh, I'm not going to do that, but the platforms do not like my attempt at juvenile humor. Which is why they are all anime falling to, well, downwards. Yep, that part is very slippery. Or like, bouncy, I suppose. But I got a team blast, so I'm not complaining too much. Let's actually buy some time by using it, I guess. Because there should be, yep, it's just springs. We don't have to wait for any doors to open up. Get this at Shadow, because apparently speed is my favorite formation in this game. Because I'm hardcore like that. Oh my god. Okay, let's try to push the A button silently here. Maybe I should just switch the Xbox controller, which has more silent button pushes for the A button, but you know, this is the GameCube version. So I guess it would feel a little bit weird if I didn't get to play the game in its original form, so to say. It's only proper. As proper as a dressed up lady on a ball. At the ball. On the ball.
Careful now.
Just use Team Blast. And done. Okay, we have to wait for that one, so let's just restore time. Okay, so one thing I did not really bother explaining for Team Sonic during this stage is that there seem to be certain tornado pole sections which are not automated. Like this one right here. I am not touching it, I'm not touching anything when I'm getting off, and I'm still landing onto the rail. After being detached from that particular direction and angle. Let's see, I think there's a pole right here. No. Okay, there it is. But this one right here, I think, if it's not all that different from Team... No. It skips a step, unlike Team Sonic, it looks like, yeah. Yes, it did, indeed. But we get a 1-up for that, and we skip a fairly large portion of the section, I suppose.
Omega, attack them.
Shit. No, I should have jumped, yes. There we go. Burr. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just making random noises right now. That's when you can tell I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I am such a professional, aren't I? Ain't I?
Pretty close.
Man, that's dickish. Especially when you play Team Sonic.
Thinking too much.
Because
What? You too, Omega?
because you play Team Sonic first, you might have certain expectations, you know. Which can be completely shattered when you jump into Team Dark. Good. Let's skip that fight down there, I suppose. Oh. Nice. We're taking the high ground. In the way I like it. Just like the morally high ground, we're taking the regular high ground. Let's just be rich to be ready for anything, to take the high ground once again if you must. I guess not. Oh, let's... Oh, shit.
Chaos control.
Fuck that noise. Oh, okay.
Looks like we have to activate all 3 switches.
And we gain some time with that chaos control, so overall, I am pleased. Just kill this and hope for some power orbs. Would you look at that? My efforts have been rewarded. With the almighty max power Thundershoot. And a much unneeded delay because of clumsy play. Maybe not entirely, because for some reason I did not have enough momentum to reach that top over there. Okay, let's get rid of these small mooks. Now for your turn. Do your thing. I want my A rank. Attack me already! There we go. I'm on a roll right now. Let's keep it up. And die. No, not quite. What am I missing? Oh yeah, there it is, of course. Let's just go over. Oh my god. Let's move on, let's move on. And we're back here. Sorry about that. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, I might actually have screwed myself over from the A rank right there because I fell. I didn't even die. I guess that counts as a ninja kill. They were completely unaware of my presence. Can we get this? Wonderful! I'm honestly not sure what happened there. I was holding straight forward.
But that was pretty close.
Cut.
Target destroyed. Searching for next target.
Okay, I'm back again. And I actually decided to drop by down here to grab this key because I somewhat want to showcase the Emerald Challenge for this stage if I can. Because, you know, to like compare the difference in difficulty between this team and Team Sonic. But I really should not have died like that, I don't think. Was it because I was holding a direction or something? But still. Okay, let's wait. Take aim. And seize the opportunity. Not quite. Okay, let's use a speed character for this one. Come on. What a tease. Shit! Oh boy. Now we got this. Whoa. Gotta be careful with spamming the homing attack. Or at the very least pay attention. We are going to save our team blast for now, because we are going to need it for something worse. This is the least of our problems, basically. And down you go. And away with you. We're still going to hold on to the team blast. Ow. There goes my key. And I think that was the last one I could get to. So... No, jump. Never mind. Oh well. No turning back now. All we can do is move forward. One of the most typical moral messages of any work of fiction. But you know, it is very true. You can only go forward from here.
Do they really think they have a chance? Activating formation. Team Black.
You heard a bot. Speaking of bots, I actually rewatched some Medabots episodes not too long ago. And boy, did it reawaken some childhood memories.
I knew we could do it.
And it actually made me realize why I like that show so much, because it really is one of those kids shows that actually has a sense of humor, so to say. It's a bit hard to explain, but... and it is self-aware about certain tropes, and it's a good show, and it's very much worth revisiting it if you actually liked it as a kid. Even if you never watched it as a kid. I say give it a few... I say give it a watch. You're definitely missing out on something if you're not. Just my humble opinion. Let's just move along here. Now we go. Ignore those. My score is still pretty high. But that probably means I just lost a lot when I died like that. And Shadow is just dominating, man. Because of my favoritism.
Just average.
Not what I settle for. So yes, even though I died pretty late on in the stage, I still managed to scrape by with a C. Which is somewhat impressive. Except, not really. Well, it is time, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, no more games.
Intercept mode complete.
The end of the line, Doctor.
Enough of this! Shut up! Move! Omega! To be your favor. I'll show you what real evil is.
Well, it's time for you to meet your destroyers. Here we go. Great. Great start. But we can still make this. We can make up for a clumsy act. Move to the side there, switch over here. Let that one pass. And we are just about ready to deal a little bit of damage and move on to the damage cycle. Let's take care of these. These can be quite troublesome. But they don't have as much health as the ones you encounter in the normal stages. Which is definitely a good thing. All because I could not switch to Omega. Disable the shield and Team Blast to keep him in place. I think we're just going to use Rouge here because Omega doesn't have the rockets yet. Yeah, I am dealing damage as he's frozen, which is pretty darn cool. This is one of the few boss battles where the Chaos Control is actually plays a vital part in damaging him. Yeah, we're definitely going to need a second cycle, at least. Wait him to be done attacking with that. And up we go. Yeah, that was a mistake. I waited too long. But we're fine. Let's go. Get up, my teammates. I want to switch to Rouge. Thank you. Level 3. Just what I like to see. Omega could have used that one, but it's fine, because we will get one right here. And if I don't finish this cycle, I could be mighty disappointed. Be gone. Disable the shield, and let's go.
Had enough yet?
Is it best to use Omega here? I'm not sure. Okay, we're going to... No! Maybe I should have just used Rouge. Maybe I won't get an A rank this time. Damn it. Oh my god. Damn it. Yeah. Let's just finish him off. I think that's a B. Drum roll, please.
End of the line, Eggman.
Well, suppose I should be grateful for that. You know that when it's turned to yellow mush and liquid.
Hey, Omega, did I ever tell you that Shadow is a robot? And... oh, never mind. Good luck.
You know about cloning. The original must exist somewhere.
So does that basically mean Rouge is a mad scientist on the side?
Nothing. I might as well go look for that Master Emerald, since that irritating Echidna's here.
Something's never changed.
What do you say then? What else is that famous president supposed to do?
So that was Team Dark. As you can see, it lasts longer than Team Sonic. But this session didn't last that much longer because I unfortunately or fortunately skipped out on some bonus stages. But as you can see, it seems like the bonus stages are indeed more difficult for this mode. So yes, there were definitely some issues I encountered. I think I can't exactly remember them off the top of my head right now. I will have to watch the playback, but they were definitely there. But despite all that, I haven't really been playing this game that much since my childhood. So it is either the reason I am able to scrape by with so many A ranks, despite the fact, the problems I mean. It is either because I remember a lot from my childhood, or I am just that good at picking up this game. Because this really, when you compare this game with other modern games, you know, nowadays, there aren't really that many mechanics you have to keep in mind for this game. There are only so many actions and things you can perform. Like, for the speed character, you have the homing attack, the rocket axle, and the tornado attack, and the light speed dash. That's like 4 things to keep in mind for the speed characters, I suppose. If you don't count their speed, their slippery speed, I suppose. Which I don't think is slippery, I just think you're not used to it, like with perhaps other games. For power character, they basically have the normal combo attacks, they have a triangle dive, they have their fireball attacks in midair. And that's just about it, I think. They have 3 mechanics to keep in mind. Flying characters, they have fly, that's one, and they have thundershoot. And their ring tosses or special attacks for when they are not when they are like able to run solo. So that's like 3 things. But it might as well be considered as 2 things to keep in mind, because the third option is rarely used for 3 of these teams. And that's in terms for the character controls, you know. when it comes to other games, even when you're just controlling one character for modern games nowadays, there are many things to keep in mind. Because they have tools, they have special attacks, and there are many more things you need to keep track of. So that is why I really have to ask you, if you really cannot keep... if you cannot keep track with a game like Sonic Heroes, with so few mechanics to keep in mind, when it comes to the character controls at least, because they go hand in hand, you know. The more mechanics the characters have, probably the more mechanics there are to take into account when it comes to your enemies. So when people aren't really able to cope with a game like Sonic Heroes, it just makes me question, are you even able to play modern games? And I don't really count the shooting games like that, because how can I explain? There aren't really that many things to keep in mind when it comes to multiplayer shooting games such as Call of Duty. Because you are either good at it or you're not when playing online, basically. No, that was really a good point, I mean. But it ultimately boils down to, if you are going to complain about this game to this degree to say that it's unplayable, I just cannot take your word for that, you know, because I played through this game twice now, and as you can see, there really isn't that much to keep in mind of, and you're still able to scrape by, even while doing live commentary, such as myself. You like, I split my focus, and I was still able to do fairly well. And as I stand by my statement of that people should be able to learn this game fairly quickly. Like, especially when you choose Team Rose, perhaps.
Is recommended for those who are new to action games.
So yes, I think it's just picky criticism when it comes to certain people. When it's a solid game, like, no mercy. If it's another game with problems, I can give it a pass because of bias. So these people could at the very least admit that, you know, because then I will feel less compelled to actually go out of my way and explain that maybe they just suck. Okay, I think. Yeah, we're just about up to 3 hours now of recording. I mean, I cut out a few minutes because I died. But I really did babble on a lot about what I wanted to cover during the gameplay, I think. The playthrough, I think, yeah. So yeah, I think I'm just going to stop it right there. So, thank you so much for joining this session with me of Sonic Heroes Team Dark. I've been Hugo the Icifier. And if you sat through this in one sitting, I say go grab yourself a light meal or go take a piss, because I don't think it's healthy to hold in a piss for too long. It can cause some problems. Don't take my word for it, you might want to look that up. As should I. The point is, don't pee in your bed.